Right now, no idea. So we're not doing the planning anymore. We're doing more of the boondocking and more of that. So
just don't plan out as far. We still plan. I still have a general idea.
You know we're going to be in February.
I don't have February planned yet.
There you go. So as of now, we don't plan out as
too far.
So we know exactly where we're going to be to the end of the month.
Yes,
but
we are.
Back to Passport America. They have a lifetime. I think it's $3.99.
I don't know. They have some options. So
Sometimes
they have
it's
like
$2.99.
I think it's a 1 year, maybe 1, 2, and 3, and then they have a lifetime membership.
We went ahead and opted to the lifetime because it's so much easier. I think it was two. I think
well,
we
we didn't for a long time. We kept paying every year, which was stupid because we paid more probably than we would have paid for the lifetime membership. And just a couple night stays, like when we were coming home this last time from out west, we had a few days of boondocking, and then we had a few days more, but we needed someplace to dump our tanks. And so I had called ahead, and there was a Love's, and I think
this is where you save some money and some.
So I called the Love's because they're not always the same either. And I said, hey, do you have a dump station? Do you have water to refill the tanks? Yeah, we've got that. I said, well, what's the charge? $10. $10. I said, okay. And of course, you don't need a reservation for that. So I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. So we can just pull in there, get fuel, dump the tanks, get a little fresh water, and hit the road again for $10. That's not a bad deal.
That's not a bad deal.
But then I looked at the Passport America website, and there was a Passport America campground
within a mile, not even a mile.
Yeah, right there, like
mile.
Same exit, right there by the truck
We
stop.
passed the truck stop to get there.
Full hookup for $10 a night with my Passport America. So, duh, we just pulled in there. We didn't just dump our tanks. We had to dump our tanks and flush our tanks and then refill and for the same price. Like it was a no-brainer.
For $10 for a full hookup, and I believe it's even 50 amp. You can't beat that. No, it's not a resort.
It was 50 amp.
It wasn't a resort.
It wasn't a resort, but we did stay, and we've stayed in several really nice Passport Americas, and for half price, it's like
$25,
$25, $30, and like that's at home anyway. That's equivalent to a state park stay where you just have water and electric and no sewer. So we're full hookup site for the same price as a water electric seems like a bonus.
Well, we're going to hit a couple more Passport Americas because we're really liking them. So if there's a Passport America you think we should check out that you really thought it was good, but make sure, keep us $20 or less because that's where she wants to be.
No, I mean, I don't know. I could even go 35 because that's the equivalent to a state park stay.
35. But wow.
If you know of a Passport America that we've probably never been to, and we've been to quite a few, but if there's one in particular that you love, please drop it below so that we can check it out on our travels this year.
So that was another positive thing. We found out a way to save some money as we were traveling.
And Harvest Host.
Yeah, Harvest Host. So we guess we will talk about Harvest Host real quick too. Harvest Host has saved us a lot of money in the long run. Mm-hmm. And we keep hearing people say, if you have to pay, then it's not free.
Because you have to pay for your membership. Then you have to pay. They want you to spend $20 or more.
But they say, they want to say spend at least $20. Don't look at it to $20. So what we're going to do is, as we travel across the country, we're going to stop at many, many Harvest Hosts. And as we go in there, this is where we buy Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, or something there.
For people back home.
Don't go to a sheep place, whatever it is, buy cheese and think you're going to keep it until December because it's not going to work. But that's what we do now is we go there, and we already told our kids, and they seem like they're really, really excited about getting things from different places across the country as we traveled.
Because, Harvest Host has wineries, so maybe a bottle of wine from wherever you are in the country.
Alpaca farms.
They have breweries and distilleries, so that's cool. Bottle of liquor or beer or hard cider from some unique place. If somebody on your gift list would appreciate that. We stayed at an alpaca farm. Two people I got alpaca scarves for. So the good thing about Harvest Hosts is
we've become really, really good friends with two of them. Really good friends.
They're more like extended family at this point. And like we camp with them outside of their home or their Harvest Host, I guess would be the right thing. Their business. But
I'm going to say our favorite Harvest Host, which I know one of our Harvest Hosters that's going to be watching this is going to be upset, but it's different. One's a winery, one's animals. Lisa loves the animals. She loves the wine too, but I think she loves the animals a little bit more. But we become such great friends with them. It is Sutler's Post in Mechanicsville, Maryland. They
It's a
have
Clydesdale
Clydesdale Farm. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it above so you guys can go watch it. We've become such great friends with them that we have started doing a camp out there. We started last year, and we're going to do it again this year.
They invited us to an annual event that they have.
Well, now it's become our annual event.
And they invited us to kind of join them and have a few campers join in at their event. And it was such a great time had by everyone last year that they invited us to come back this year and invite even more people. So the goal this year is to try to
I'm going to try to get 100 RVers, but here's a chance for you to learn two things. You don't have to harvest host there because it's part of this, but it is a harvest host so you can see what it would feel like to harvest host if you never harvest host. You have to boondock here. There is no water, there is no sewer, there's no electrical, but we have a lot of people there that can help you to learn to boondock if you've never been boondocking before.
Right,
So,
if you're capable but just have never done it, maybe you're afraid. There's plenty of people there to help, and you can run your generator there all night. That's always a question we get. So
we've had a couple people say, no, I'm not going to do this with you guys because I'm afraid of boondocking. So once we kind of explained to them how it works, what you do, how to fill your water up, get everything right, they said, we're going to try this with you. This is the perfect time to try it because we're not out by ourselves. So this may be something that you learn that you'll find out you like harvest hosting and you like boondocking by coming to one of our meetups here. So this meetup is in October.
I think it's October 5th. It's the weekend before Columbus Day 2023. So
I'll put a link down here in the bottom for our Facebook page that you can kind of go to it. It's going to be our fall meetup, our fall camp out there too. So if you want to learn how to boondock, come on out there. We'll show you what we know how to do. We'll make sure you're okay.
It was their party, and we were invited last year, and we've been invited back. But I will say this. I wasn't sure what to expect going in. I mean, I know our people and I love them, and I was so humbled to be invited to their get-together, but I just wasn't sure. And we invited our friends, and so I wasn't sure.
If all the friends would mix.
Everybody there came up and said what a great time they had, and to let them know when it would be next year so that they could be sure to be there. So
this harvest host also, they're both RVers too, so they understand the RV life.
Right.
So it's not we're just pulling up in somebody's place and going,
no,
hey guys, they are RVers, so they understand the RV. They actually put their RVs out there with us, so they were camping with
and they
us,
had friends and people staying there. So that was a great time, had by all, and we highly encourage both Passport America and Harvest Host, and Boondockers Welcome. We haven't done Boondockers. I have the membership, but we've never stayed in the Boondockers Welcome portion at somebody's place, but we have used the Harvest Host.
I'm a little nervous on that, so let's see if you guys can talk me out of that.
Yes, please. I hear great stories about people doing Boondockers Welcome.
I understand moochstocking. We've moochstocked many times, but I haven't done Boondockers yet.
He's a little nervous about boondocking in a total stranger's place. But that's kind of what Harvest Host is too. So.
Yeah, but it's different to me.
I guess because it's not in their driveway.
Let me know your Boondockers Welcome experience and see if I can finally get out there and do one. So if you're a Boondockers Welcome host and you can fit a 45-foot rig, help me.
Comment. Because we'd love to come. Our friends have stayed, and they tell these great stories about the people that they met.
Well, they had dinner with them and all that, and I love to eat.
And they go back and visit up with them, and so I feel like it's a good thing. I just haven't quite got him on board yet.
So that's all the good things about the traveling and how we save money and all that. And then we're going to go back to a negative thing here because everybody. One of our videos not too long ago, somebody said, "I'm glad you guys are finally showing a negative because it's not all unicorns and rainbows." It's not. While you're driving out there, like I said, this is 36,000 miles from February 1st till now, and we haven't got all the way to February yet. But we're not going to drive much more. So we hit 36,000 miles this year. Our last 2 years that we were on the road, we hit almost 70,000 miles. So we almost have 100,000 miles under our belt in 3 years. So we've seen a lot. We've learned a lot. We've been in a lot. But then we had something happen to us that we weren't expecting it. We've always expected, but we didn't know it was going to happen. So we were up north. And we didn't have our camper at the time.
Thank God.
And we were at a function, and we left, and I ran into a deer. It's my second deer I've ever run into. My first one I've ever been into while I'm driving. So it did damage to the truck. Thank goodness it wasn't bad enough that we couldn't drive. But once again, this is where we were stopped.
It's one of those expenses. It's one of those expenses. Now our insurance covered it. Of course, there's a deductible. Fortunately, we could still drive our truck. We could still tow our truck, so we were able to get back home, set up an appointment with our body shop.
But that makes it so you can't travel way out west now because you don't know when your appointment's going to be.
There's two pieces to that. So we had an appointment at the body shop. They gave us an estimate. They set us an appointment, and then they had to move the appointment because part shortage. Again, part shortage.
Over a headlight. This is a headlight. $1,500 headlight.
I even said to the girl, I know the headlight's broken and I know it's part of the estimate and it needs to be replaced. However, the one that's in there is still working. So could you go ahead and do the rest of the work? And then when the headlight comes in, we could swap it out. No, it's against the law for us to send it out that way because that headlight broken like that wouldn't pass inspection. So legally we can't do it.
Because in Virginia you have to have inspections.
And it is what it is. That's the law. That's the law. It's the way it has to be.
So make a long story short, it took
3 months. It took
3
months.
whole months to get the headlight to get fixed.
Which wasn't a big deal because we could still drive, right? We could still
the headlight was still working.
Do our thing. We could still get around and it wasn't a problem. But what if it wasn't? So what if
I totaled the truck?
Serious damage that left it undrivable? Still, the insurance would cover it. Yeah, there's a deductible, but that would have left us parked wherever we were, which at the time was not anywhere near home. So we would have had to arrange to get the camper parked somewhere, find a campground that has availability for us to park for an unknown period of time until you got your truck fixed. So just another one of those things you need to think about. It could happen. It could happen. And, although you'd like to think, hey, I'm a good driver, you can't. There's some things you can't control. Other people and animals.
I couldn't control the deer. Of course, we were just driving and it ran out. I never even saw the deer come out. And this is the one time I didn't have my dash cam. It broke, so we have one back now. But I didn't get to see that and watch it. But where I'm getting at is not just you're driving. I hit the deer, and then we had friends that have a Fusion that they were stuck in traffic, and a van came up and plowed in the back of them, and maybe they still don't even know it could have totaled their RV.
Fixed.
So they end up having to get another RV to replace the one that they had. And that's just a big thing up in the air. You just don't know. You don't think of that kind of thing. What if?
Well, because you think you have insurance, so you're covered. You don't have to worry about it. But so this is a call out to, first of all, check your insurance to see what it's going to cover. Is it going to cover a rental? And if so, is the rental going to be able to tow your rig? Because a lot of the rental places don't have something big enough to tow your rig. Or is it going to cover a hotel stay if that's what it takes? There's a lot more.
For how long is that hotel going to be?
So RV policies are pretty good, a lot of them, and if you have a good insurance agent, that they do cover a lot of things, but you need to know exactly what those things are.
So now that we're on insurance, we're going to get to our final thing that we've learned after 100,000 miles of driving, our third year of our full-time RVing, 15 years of RVing.
And shame on us that we didn't think of this sooner.
And we used to travel all over the country, even without the RV, and didn't realize this. So we found out something this year that I hope this helps you guys, especially if you're full-time RVing, or if you're just driving out of the state.
Or if you just travel a lot.
Just out of the state, because this is something to do with state to state to state to state.
So the situation is this. Home state is Virginia. We are in Indiana. And our trip, we are leaving Indiana, we have a stay in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and we're going to land in Florida. And I get sick. No worries. I have health insurance. I just need to go to like a doc in the box. At home we have a patient first. Some places it's better med. Whatever. You know what a doc in the box is. Clearly my home doctor is not with me. And
I thought about keeping him in a toy hauler for...
Right, can we just bring him along? But neither one of us are people that really get sick on a regular. And we do schedule like annual appointments, dental, eye, all the things. We try to schedule them with our home doctors when we're going to be home. We try to blank out a 2 to 3 week period that we're going to be home, and we can hit all of those appointments at one time. And then if we need to come back in 6 months or whatever, we schedule those accordingly. But what I didn't schedule was being sick, because typically we don't get sick. We don't require a lot of medical care. But I'm sick and I need to go to the doctor. And so I call the 800 number on my insurance card just to find out, like, where's the nearest doc in the box. I just need an antibiotic. I'm not feeling good, And they inform me that Our health insurance, because we're out of state, only covers emergent care. I said, okay, what exactly does that mean? Well, that means you need to go to the ER. Okay, first of all, do you know how many sick people there are in the ER? And do you know what the wait is at the ER? And really, I just need to go to the doc in the box. Like, I'm not emergent. I'm not dying. I don't need to go to the ER. That's all that your insurance covers. Or you could do a virtual appointment with a doctor online. And so I tried to do that. Anyway, hours in, none of that worked. You need to go to your doctor at home, or you need to go to the ER. And I'm not going to the ER. I'm not sick like that. I don't need to go to the ER. Finally, I had a thought that I could maybe do a virtual appointment with my home doctor, which is what I ended up doing. Got him on the phone, talked to him, got everything taken care of. But just it had never occurred to us that we didn't have that kind of care when we were out of state. So
now this is January, so now it's open enrollment. So we're going to be looking a little more deeper
so
involved
you need to,
on
it's
that.
just, it's just one of those things to
You
think
don't think about.
that it had never occurred to me because we had never needed it. And we're not sick people. We don't typically spend a lot of time with the doctor because we're sick. So it just hadn't crossed our minds, and that's, shame on us because we should have thought of that. But, it's funny, we always ask full-timers before we hit the road when we would meet them in RV parks and along the way, do you love it or hate it? And I'm curious for you guys. Comment below, do you love it or hate it? And if you love it, what is one thing, if you could change one thing, what would that be? And so again, I'm going to ask you the same thing. If there's one thing you could change, what would that be? And drop it below. The most common answer that we got for probably 9 out of 10 was
we should have started early.
Should have started sooner. So with that, we jumped on the road and we did it. And I think we've done pretty good. No catastrophes yet. But the whole insurance thing was one thing that we never really thought about. So not trying to make it a Debbie Downer video today.
I was going to bring a guy I met on Match.com, but after we exchanged photos, I never heard from him again.
We just hope this is going to show you guys what we do out there. It's not the life, the best life in the world that everybody. We still to this day, people say, I wish we can do your life. We can have your life. We can do this. We can do that. If we're just everyday normal people, we're just traveling. We're traveling.
Just the view out the window changes.
I get that, and everybody loves that. But there is some down days. We try not to show everybody the down days too much because some of the down days are personal, so we don't want to have all those. But we just want you to understand there is things out there. But
we've opened ourselves up to you guys, and we consider you part of our little family and our little group. And if there's something that happens to us, good, bad, or otherwise, that we could share with you all that would help, then by all means, that's what we feel like that's what we need to do. So
on a good note, we're starting 2023. We're all healthy. We're all good. We're in Florida.
It's warm.
It's not raining now.
It's not snowing.
We have a lot of big plans coming up. We have a lot of new adventures coming up that we want you guys to be part of. We do have a lot of partners. Remember, we do have the mobile showroom. So there is a lot of partners on here. We want to show you their products still. So if you're at the campground and you see us, let us know so you can come in and see these.
If you see us on the road, say
wave,
hey.
Just like our video we did. We want to see some people
Tampa,
wave a little bit.
Say hey. If you see us go down the road, honk the horn and wave, because people do that and it's too cool. It makes us happy.
We get pictures all the time on Instagram and Facebook where people pass us and they have pictures of the camper waving at us and all that kind of stuff. So if you see us on the road, keep waving, keep sending the pictures.
Don't forget to like,
subscribe, and all that stuff you're supposed to do.
Do all the things. But most importantly, guys, as we pull into 2023, may your RV adventures be many, and may your travels be safe.